Today we're looking at Barbara O'Neill's long lecture on water, dehydration, stomach ulcers, Celtic salt, and blood pressure. She makes big claims, some helpful, some misleading. So let's break down what's correct, what's questionable, and what the science actually says. Barbara begins by listing how much water the body loses in 24 hours through the kidneys, skin, lungs, and colon, and concludes everyone needs at least 2 litres of pure water daily. She also gives a rule: 1 quart of water for every 50 pounds of body weight. There is a useful idea here. Most adults do well with roughly 2 to 3 litres of total fluid a day, depending on body size, climate, and activity. Water is the safest default, and it's true that fruits and vegetables contribute to hydration, but the 50 pounds equals 1 quart rule is not evidence-based. Hydration needs vary widely. A 200-pound athlete in Arizona is not comparable to a smaller adult in a cool climate. People with heart failure or kidney disease may even need restricted fluids. So while her emphasis on water is fine, the formula is overly rigid. A central theme in Barbara's talk is that dehydration thins the stomach's mucosal lining. She says this reduction allows stomach acid to eat through the wall, leading to pain and ulceration. She then argues that Helicobacter pylori bacteria show up only as cleanup crew, and that the real problem is dehydration, not infection. She reinforces this by telling the story of Dr. Batman Hellich, Dr. B, who reportedly cured thousands of stomach ulcers in prison with water alone. Here's the evidence-based position: H. pylori infection and NSAID medications such as ibuprofen. These 2 factors account for the overwhelming majority of peptic ulcers. That's why the standard treatment is antibiotics to eradicate H. pylori and acid-suppressing medications to allow healing. This approach has very high cure rates. Could severe dehydration irritate digestion? Possibly, but there is no clinical evidence that chronic mild dehydration thins the stomach lining enough to cause ulcers, nor that thousands of cases resolve with water alone. Barbara's water-first approach sounds appealing because it's simple, but replacing established ulcer treatment with water can be dangerous if the underlying cause, infection or medication-induced damage, isn't addressed. Barbara also teaches that drinking water with meals dilutes stomach acid and prevents digestion, which she says allows bacteria like H. pylori to flourish. Water does temporarily reduce the concentration of stomach acid, but the stomach responds immediately by secreting more acid. This is a normal, healthy feedback system. There is no evidence that moderate drinking during meals causes ulcers or major digestive problems. If someone prefers drinking most of their water between meals, that's fine. But the idea that water with meals is harmful is not supported by modern gastroenterology. Does coffee dehydrate you? Barbara repeatedly says a cup of coffee requires 5 glasses of water to compensate for its dehydrating effects. This is outdated. Caffeine can increase urine output slightly, but multiple controlled studies now show coffee and tea are net hydrating, not dehydrating. Regular drinkers develop tolerance to the diuretic effect. These beverages contribute to daily fluid intake. That doesn't mean coffee is ideal for hydration. Water is still best. But the notion that it steals water from the body is inaccurate. Orange juice is similar. It hydrates, but its calories and sugar mean it's not a substitute for plain water. Table salt versus Celtic salt. The longest part of Barbara's lecture focuses on salt. She argues table salt is essentially toxic, industrial, and stripped of minerals. Celtic sea salt contains more than 80 minerals. These minerals, especially magnesium, pull water into the cell. Celtic salt supposedly helps blood pressure, energy, and hydration. So what's correct and what isn't? Unrefined salts like Celtic or Himalayan do contain trace minerals, but in very small amounts, too small to have meaningful therapeutic effects. For the body, Celtic salt, Himalayan salt, kosher salt, and ordinary table salt are all essentially sodium chloride. The mineral differences are interesting, but biologically minor. Cellular hydration is controlled by complex pumps, gradients, and hormone systems, not by adding a pinch of specialty salt to your tongue. Research is consistent. Higher sodium intake raises blood pressure risk. Some people are more salt sensitive than others, but the type of salt does not change the effect. If someone enjoys the flavor of Celtic salt, great, but using it as a medical tool is not supported by evidence. Barbara also links dehydration to constipation, which can be true. Low fluid intake can make stools harder, but constipation is multifactorial and often linked to fiber intake, medications, and motility disorders. Her explanation of cells swelling due to wrong salts and low potassium oversimplifies complex physiology. The general principles she's pointing toward, eat more fruits and vegetables, get potassium, drink enough water, are perfectly reasonable. The mechanistic explanations, though, aren't consistent with validated science. Here are the practical, evidence-based takeaways. 1. Most adults do well with 2 to 3 litres of total fluid per day. 2. Water is the best primary drink, but coffee and tea do hydrate. 3. Ulcers aren't caused by dehydration. They're usually caused by H. pylori or medications. 4. Celtic salt is fine as flavour, but it's still sodium chloride and not a medical therapy. And as always, none of this replaces personalised medical care. If you have ulcers, high blood pressure, or digestive symptoms, speak with your clinician before changing medications or following online advice.